um, configuring network access. Alright, so basically configuring the access to the virtual machine, and okay, so right now the VM you created and installed Nginx on isn't accessible from the internet. You create a network security group, which is like a firewall, and then and that changes that by allowing inbound HTTP access on port 80. So for task 4 cleanup. So basically we have 4 tasks here. So alright, so you get the IP address, access your web server. The web server is obviously we install Nginx on a VM, and then next step is to list the current network security group rules. Create a network security group rule so that allow inbound HTTP connections like from the internet, port 80, and then access your web server again. Alright, so let's quickly go through it to just get an understanding, right? Access your web server. In this procedure, you get IP address for your VM to and attempt to access your web server's homepage. So we run this command VM list IP address, and then to download a homepage with the IP address. Okay, the connect timer argument specifies to allow up to 5 seconds for the connection to occur. Okay. Let's try the access. So you echo IP address, and this is just an example of what you might see. Copy IP address, put in a browser, and you may not see it. And you'll probably see it's not reachable because it's not open to connections outside the network. So keep this browser tab open for later, and then next step is to list the current network security group rules. Let's examine your current NSE rules and run the following command. You'll see this, and every VM on Azure is associated with at least one network security group. Associated with a name. Okay, so finally you'll get a table. Priority 1000, port 22, allow. Right, so you see that the default rule, this rule allows inbound connections over port 22 SSH, and rules are processed in priority order with lower numbers processed before higher numbers. So this is 1000, it's pretty high. Allows only on port 22. This enables administrators to access the system. You need to allow inbound connections on port 80, which allows access over HTTP or over the internet. Right, so then you create a network security rule. To create a rule called allow HTTP that allows inbound access on port 80. So here you specify port 80. Here set a priority to 100. So if you remember the priority of the existing rule is 1000, and now I'm making 100. So obviously this rule will get processed um, before the before the 1000 priority number. Okay, in this case the priority doesn't matter. You would need to consider priority if you had overlapping port ranges. So okay, so here the port ranges are different. So one is 80, the other one was 22, I believe, for SSH. Alright, so to verify the configuration, run AZ network NSG rule list to see the updated list of rules, and then you can see. Okay, so there's a table, and we have priority 100, 80, allow. And now we try to access your web server again. Run a curl command with connection timeout. Okay, you see this, and refresh your browser with same IP, and then you can see. So you can create a standalone network NSG group that includes the inbound and outbound network access roles you need. And if you have multiple VMs that serve the same purpose, you can assign that network security group to each VM at the time you create it. This technique enables you to control network access to multiple VMs under a single central set of rules. So assigning a network security group to multiple VMs. Okay, so a good practice would be to delete resources once you finished using them, because if you leave them running, it can cost money. So or delete the resource group to delete the entire set of resources. So in the next video, you're going to describe Azure Virtual Private Networks, also known as VPN. So until then, see you next time.